Hey guys, welcome back to Hollywood's Hero. I'm your host, Corey Robinson, and today we'll be reviewing the new Avatar film, Avatar Fire and Ash. So, Avatar Fire and Ash is directed by James Cameron. It is the third film in the Avatar franchise. This one also takes place on Pandora, picks up right after the events of Avatar The Way of Water. It's been a couple of years, I think, since the last one, maybe 2 or 3 years, but this one kind of picks up right after the last one. So, let's get this out of the way. I was not the biggest fan of the original Avatar movie. I thought it was very seen that, done that before, very cowboys and aliens, but in space with blue people. You know, like cowboys going out west looking for gold, taking the land from the natives. Same thing with Avatar, humans going to Pandora, taking the iridium or whatever they're looking for from the Na'vi people. So it was a very similar story, in my opinion. Went into the second movie with very low expectations. I went to go see it because it's a visual spectacle. Like these movies are like blockbuster, must see in theater type movies. But I went to the second one, not being the biggest fan of the franchise, and walked away absolutely loving it. The second one I thought was infinitely better than the first one. The underwater visuals were spectacular, and I thought the story time was really good. So going from one to two, not a big fan. Two to three, was very excited for the third one. And I'll say this. I wasn't as blown away from 2 to 3 as I was from 1 to 2, but I very much enjoyed Avatar 3 or Avatar Fire and Ash. Um, if if you're going to go see this, I highly recommend seeing on the best theater screen possible. IMAX, Dolby, Prime, whatever your local theater offers, go see it on the biggest and best screen possible. 3D, whatever you want. It is a visual stunning masterpiece. Um, it is a very enjoyable film. It does feel long though. It sits in at 3 hours and 15 minutes, and you feel those 3 hours and 15 minutes. This isn't to say that the film drags. There are just parts of the story that I didn't think needed to be in there, and it made it a little bit longer than it needed to be. I think you probably could have cut half an hour off the film, and it probably would have ran a lot smoother. You might not have felt it, but overall, it was a very enjoyable film. This is the darkest, I think, out of the three Avatar films. I think there's a lot more, um, plot armor taken off of these characters, and there's a lot more vulnerability, and you see a lot of growth in other characters. Yeah, the first two films kind of focus on Jake Sully and his wife. This one's more about the kids, with Jake being a strong part of it. The thing I like about most about this film is the world building that they do in this movie. You see a lot of other parts of Pandora and other parts of different tribes and the Ash people, and you get more into the connection with the Great Mother. And I really like what James Cameron did here with all the world building and all the different types of storytelling he's able to tell here. The action's very enjoyable. One of my friends who I went with and saw, he didn't even see Avatar 2 when he went and saw this, and he was just out of his chair, like always like watching the next sequence, wondering what was going to happen, and really just enjoyed himself. And he left the movie like going, "Oh, I'm going to see Avatar 2 when I get home." But overall, it's really great. Action's great. It's always weird looking at these movies and being like, well, that's not a real place. Like they actually made that on a computer, because you just are in awe of the visual effects of this movie. Like it's just an absolute, like I've said, masterpiece. James Cameron does it again. Um, yeah, I mean, I the only complaint I have, like I said, is the runtime. It feels a little long, but like you're very invested in these characters. You're very invested in the world, seeing new aspects of the world, learning more about their connection to the Earth, the Pandora, and to the Great Spirit. And seeing how the humans struggle and the new um, plot devices that are introduced. I won't get into too much spoilers, but new plot devices that are introduced and how the humans tie into all of it. It's a very enjoyable movie. It's a fun, blockbuster. Go see it with your family. Go see it, to get out of the house. And yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it. If I had to give it a score, I give it a 4.3. Yeah, a little 4.3 out of 5. Really, really liked it. Was very satisfied with it. Like I said, The only negative is it felt a little bit long, but I liked what they did with the character development. I thought it was really good. The visual effects were stunning as always, and the score and everything else was just like absolutely pristine. I'm excited. I hope it makes enough money they can do another one because I think James Cameron wants to do 4 or 5 of these, and like I said, it ends in a way that if they didn't do another one, they'd be fine. But there are other elements of the story that I'd like to see continue and see what happens next for these characters. So it's very, very enjoyable. Definitely worth seeing in theaters. Definitely worth seeing in IMAX or Prime or Dolby or whatever theater you have near you. Did you see Avatar Fire and Ash? Let me know what you thought below. Comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Happy holidays.